So we are on to the third round of the Big 12 tournament where the matchups really start to heat up. We see a really good BYU team. For my money, the hottest team in the Big 12. I know people may feel another certain way, but have loved how this BYU team has really found itself and roles have been defined towards the end of the season. I think they've been playing really, really good basketball. And on the other end, you have an Iowa State team who has been really good this season. Might be a little bit banged up right now. Not really sure who's going to be available in this one or if they're going to be available in this game. But I'll throw it to you first for some quick overview thoughts. Where are you at with this BYU Iowa State game? In the in the last matchup at Hilton, had ourselves a classic. So should be in for a really good game, I think. What are your thoughts on this initially?
So before Cougars fans jump down my throat, finish the video. Okay, that's what I would say. But I am going to start by asking, what the hell is BYU's luck factor? Like, what is their luck this season? Because they escaped McHale Center on a terrible call, but they ended up winning that game. They turned the ball over 30 times in Hilton and lived to tell the tale.
Crazy.
And now they got a clones team that's hobbled, a clones team that didn't have Keyshawn Gilbert the second half of last game. May not have Taman Lipsey. Again, we're recording this late night on, well, early morning at this point, Thursday the 13th. So I don't know what the deal is with those guys. All of that to say, BYU's gotten some breaks during this run for sure, but they've also just been electric. The three ball, right? The three ball is what they rely on, and that's going to be the difference in the game. I love the way they play, and I can't say enough about the professional, like NBA approach that Kevin Young has instilled in this team. Obviously, we talk about AJ DeBansa and what they're trying to do with NIL and building that, but just watch their style of basketball cart. It's like watching the Boston Celtics almost. Like
Yeah.
they're five out, just spread the ball, spray threes as much as possible. Um, I think they're great. Here's what I will say as it relates to this game of potential X factors. Kiba Keita and Mawat Mag. Those two guys are actually very, very impactful. Kiba Keita, I promise you, will give you 4 to 5 offensive rebounds in a
Yeah.
game, it feels like, and generate extra possessions when it matters the most. And Mawat Mag actually seems like a guy, like everyone's going to be talking about Richie Saunders and Dallin Hall, and that's totally agree. I'm with you. Those are great players. But I feel like Mawat Mag does a really good job of starting them off. Like he's aggressive right out of the gate. Under 16 timeout wouldn't shock me to see him with like 4 to 6 points. So those are two guys to keep an eye on for BYU.
Yeah, I think one of the things, and it's really long winded with what this BYU team has done because I was questioning how Coach Young was really operating with this basketball team and kind of what pieces were playing and when they were playing and who was featured. And he has done, I'm not even sure if I can pinpoint the exact date, but at a certain time, he just started pulling all the right strings. Moat Mag is like this connector piece. Yegor Demon, though he's like a projected lottery pick, he's kind of taken a step back and just kind of been able to be like a distributor guy while Richie Saunders has looked like a first team all Big 12 player. He's been incredible for them. They have Dallin Hall at the bench. Like you mentioned, Keita, he's an absolute physical specimen, monster. The offensive rebounds, the dunks, the things that he can provide for the team, I think are great. Cannon Catchings has had some games where he's been productive off the bench, and they just play a really, really fun high, like analytically style back. Like they shoot a lot of threes and they shoot at the rim. That's where they want to get their shots at. And it's been working really, really well. And the last thing that's impressing with this BYU team and the step that they took, and honestly, a step that I saw in the first game at Hilton, this team is physical now.
Hmm.
And I think that's credit to Mag, that's credit to Cato, like I said, but also just credit to the BYU players and the coaches as a whole. I think this team physically has really stepped up to a challenge. I looked at the start of the year, and this BYU team, I kid you not, I thought I saw piss actually come down their legs when they played at Houston. I haven't seen a team that scared in so long. I
That's a
know it's
scary place, though.
I know it is, man. But like, if you know, it's like when you're facing a bully, you know you have no shot at, but like you also can't let that bully know you're scared. Like you might get whooped on, but like you can't show fear. You're at least gonna step up to the plate. They didn't do that. This is a whole different BYU team. They're extremely physical. They're extremely tough to check. And I mean, I think to your point, we would be doing a disservice if we didn't speak to the spot of this game, like you stated. BYU is playing their first game. Iowa State's already played. Iowa State is beat up. Iowa State might not even want to be here because they want to get into one piece. This is really falling favorably for BYU. For a team that I picked, I think early on, I did like an early sleepers episode like 2 weeks ago or something like that. I think a sleeper pick to win this tournament. I think BYU can do that. But
Mhm.
they first got to get past a really good Iowa State team that, despite the injuries, you think Iowa State's a team that has revenge on the mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, this was something that I pointed out prior to Iowa State's previous game against Cincinnati, which is they have contributors everywhere and guys that are ready to step up. Like it wouldn't shock me if Heisey steps up. Wouldn't shock me if Deshaun Jackson. But actually, Deshaun Jackson versus Keita Keita is going to be a wonderful like big man matchup.
Yeah.
Brandon Chatfield might be able to contribute a little bit there. Joshua Jefferson has been tremendous, and he was awesome. He's been awesome uh, this entire season. But I think BYU has a little bit more in the tank and maybe a little bit more health. Um, it's funny though, going back to your point about toughness, I would allow me to take it back even further, right? BYU's always been a team that is trendy to go to the Sweet 16.
Mhm.
And I think they were exactly that last year, right? They got matched up with Duquesne. They got punched in the mouth. I remember the first 5 minutes, one of their players, I forget who it was, but got like straight up a bloody nose. And Duquesne ended up winning that game. I think that was like the first real upset of the tournament. So I think there is a level of physicality and toughness that is probably going on in their minds. The only thing I'll say, Igor Demon, he's a tremendous talent, but he turns the ball over way too much.
Yeah.
And I think if you want to make him one dimensional, you got to let him shoot perimeter shots because once he gets in the paint, it's kind of game over.
Yeah.
I've seen him once he gets inside the 3 point line. Actually, it's kind of game over. He has such a great ability to finish around the rim, but he's not the greatest shooter, I don't think. So
Mhm.
turnovers and his shot selection. If Iowa State, who's a great defensive team, can do that, I mean, they have more than a chance. I still think they're favored, but again, at the time of this recording, which is early Thursday morning, man, like I don't know who's going to be on the floor for Iowa State, and I don't know who's going to want to be on the floor for Iowa State.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the big things for BYU in this game is taking care of the basketball. It is honestly, like you said, an anomaly. Still very impressive that this team was able to win on the road at Ames, one of the hardest places to play in the country, and turn the ball over that many times. But it speaks to the resilience that they have. This is a really tough team. I've been so impressed with Richie Saunders this year for BYU. Like, I mean, I'll be honest, you can go back and look. I'm like, you really want me to be scared of Richie Saunders? Hand up, I'm so afraid of Richie Saunders. Carter Elliott, very afraid of Richie Saunders because that dude is a killer. He's so good. I think people give him like this whole, oh, he's a shooter, he's a shooter. He gets to the basket and he goes fearlessly and he gets to the free throw line and he makes free throws, whether he's fouled or not. Sorry, Subi. And and it's just I really love what this BYU team is doing. And you know, a team that is playing so well like they are towards the end of the regular season, you want to see them maybe string together one or two in the tournament so it doesn't feel fluky. Like having this really good run and then losing in a game where Iowa State's a little bit beat up and already played a basketball game, you wouldn't have the best feeling going into March. So a big game, I think, both ways here. Iowa State with a chance to pick up a big victory, get their revenge over BYU. And also on the flip side of this, BYU has a chance to, make a run in this tournament. And I think things have fell their way. And you know what? Sometimes that's March. Things break your way, things go your way. It's whether you take advantage of it or not. So I think we'll get to the prediction of this game. Let me go ahead and pull up the Ken Palm line here. Ken Palm has Iowa State favored by 4 points in this game, 77-73. Subi, I'll throw it over to you first.
I really don't know it. I'd like to get Mr. Pomeroy on the line and ask him if like he knows Keyshawn Gilbert's playing or if he knows Tamin Lipsey's going to play because I don't buy that straight up. Knowing what we saw, I think the three ball is going to be the difference. I trust BYU's ability. It's not just the three ball being a difference. I trust their ability to make double digit threes, which is a huge weapon to have. And also BYU doesn't get enough credit for how much they share the basketball. Obviously, they make a lot of threes, so assists are going to come from that, but their ability to move, share the basketball, their offense, like I said, is very pro style. It doesn't stick. They're one of the best assist teams in the country. And I do think there's again, I'm speculating. I don't know the status of Gilbert and Taman. So I think all of those are too much to overcome. BYU wins this game 82-80, close game.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game too. I just have a hard time not picking BYU, playing the way they're playing, the spot that they're in, and my my branch here to Cyclones fans. I don't even really know if I want this one, to be honest with you. Like, not to do the whole nonchalant thing about this, but it's about being the best version and the healthiest version of yourself going into March, not gutting it out and trying to win a Big 12 tournament banner, to be honest with you. So we'll see what happens with that game. We will have the recap of it here on Sleepers Media YouTube channel, as well as all the previews and recaps for every Big 12 tournament game. So be sure to tap into the channel. We have y'all covered.